The Valari Collective had watched the stars for 10,000 years. They were not alone in the universe, and they knew it well. 7 different species had joined together long ago, sharing knowledge and ships and dreams of peace. They had mapped millions of worlds and found life on thousands of them. Most of that life was simple: bacteria, plants, swimming things in dark oceans. But sometimes, rarely, they found thinking creatures, beings who could learn and grow and one day reach the stars themselves. Earth was one such world. Commander Yuna sat in her chair aboard the observation vessel. Whisper of stars. The ship floated in the cold darkness beyond the edge of Earth's solar system, watching and waiting as her people had done for nearly a century. She was tired. Watching a primitive world was not exciting work. The humans down there were loud and messy and seemed to enjoy hurting each other. Their radio signals leaked into space like screaming children, full of music and news and advertisements for things Yuna did not understand. She had read the reports from the scientists. Earth was a seed world, they said. The humans would need another 2,000 years before they were ready for contact. Maybe longer. They had only recently discovered how to split atoms, and they had immediately used that knowledge to build weapons. Typical primitive behavior. The Valari had seen it before on 100 other worlds. But something about Earth bothered Yuna. She could not explain it. The humans were advancing too fast. When her grandmother had first taken this post, humans were still riding horses and fighting with swords. Now they had flying machines and had sent men to walk on their own moon. That kind of progress usually took 5,000 years. The humans had done it in less than 200. Her second officer, a young male named Teeman, approached her chair. "Commander, the weekly report is ready." Nothing unusual. The humans are fighting again in several regions. Their global communications network continues to expand. They have launched 3 more satellites this month. Yuna nodded slowly. "Teeman, how long have we been watching them?" 93 years, Commander. "And in that time, what have they accomplished?" Teeman thought for a moment. "They have gone from basic flight to space travel. They have built weapons that could destroy their entire world. They have connected their planet with instant communication. They have doubled their population twice. Does that not concern you?" The young officer shifted uncomfortably. "The scientists say it is within acceptable parameters. They are simply a more aggressive species. Such species often burn themselves out." Yuna was not so sure. She had watched the humans celebrate when their astronauts returned from the moon. She had seen the way they wept and cheered and held each other. These were not creatures who would burn out. These were creatures who would keep pushing forward no matter what stood in their way. She made a decision that would change everything. "Prepare a greeting signal," she said quietly. Tannen stared at her. "Commander?" "Protocol states we should wait until they achieve faster than light communication. That will take them at least another millennium. I am aware of the protocol. Prepare the signal." The young officer opened his mouth to argue, then closed it. He had served under Yuna for 5 years. He knew that tone. She had made up her mind. The signal was simple. All first contact signals were simple. A series of prime numbers, followed by a geometric sequence, followed by a mathematical constant. Any intelligent species would recognize it as artificial. It was the Valari way of saying hello. Yuna watched as the signal was sent, a tiny burst of energy aimed at the blue and green world below. She expected nothing to happen. Primitive species usually took generations to even notice such signals. Some never noticed at all. She went to her quarters to sleep. 6 hours later, Tamin woke her with shaking hands and wide eyes. "Commander," he whispered. They responded. Yuna felt her heart stop. "What?" "The humans. They responded to our signal. Not just an echo. They sent us something. She ran to the command center, her feet barely touching the floor. The entire crew was gathered around the main screen, staring at data that should not exist. The human response was not a simple mathematical echo. It was a compressed data package containing more information than any primitive species should be able to send. Yuna read through it with growing horror. The humans had sent back a complete mathematical proof that Valari scientists had been working on for 3 centuries. They had solved it. They had also included star charts that corrected 3 small errors in the original Valari signal. 3 errors that the Valari themselves had not known about. And at the end, in clear mathematical language that any species could understand, the humans had asked a single question. What took you so long? Yuna sat down heavily. Her hands were trembling. She had made a terrible mistake. The scientists were wrong. The protocols were wrong. Everything they thought they knew about Earth was wrong. The humans were not a seed world waiting to grow. They were something else entirely. She sealed the communication logs with her personal code and opened a channel to the Valari High Council. Her voice was steady, but only barely. This is Commander Yuna of the Whisper of Stars. I am declaring a first contact emergency. The species known as humans has responded to our greeting signal. I am requesting immediate guidance. She paused, struggling to find the right words. Council members, I believe we have made a serious error in our assessment of Earth. These creatures are not primitive. I do not know what they are, but I am afraid. The response from the council came within minutes. That alone told her how serious the situation had become. The council never responded quickly to anything. Commander Yuna, the message said, do not send any further signals. Do not respond to any human transmissions. Return to Valari space immediately. This matter is now under council jurisdiction. Yuna looked at the blue world one last time before her ship turned away. Somewhere down there, the humans were waiting for an answer. They would not get one. Not yet. But Yuna knew, deep in her bones, that silence would not stop them. Nothing would stop them. The Valari had just announced their existence to a species that did not know how to give up. She wondered if her people truly understood what they had awakened. Dr. Park Jisoo had not slept in 36 hours. Her coffee had gone cold hours ago, forgotten on the desk beside her keyboard. She did not care. She was staring at something that would change human history forever. The signal had arrived at the Gangwon Deep Space Listening Station just after midnight. At first, the night shift had thought it was a glitch. Then they had thought it was a satellite malfunction. Then they had called their supervisor. The supervisor had called his supervisor. And eventually, someone had called Jisoo. She was the director of signal analysis for the United Earth Space Authority. She had spent her entire career listening to the silence of space, searching for any sign that humanity was not alone. Most people thought she was wasting her time. Her own mother had told her to find a real job. Her father had stopped asking about her work years ago. Now she sat in her small office, surrounded by papers and empty food containers, and she knew that she had been right all along. The signal was definitely artificial. Prime numbers, followed by a geometric sequence. Mathematics was universal. Any intelligent species would use it to communicate. This was exactly what all the theories had predicted. But it was real. It was actually real. Jisoo picked up her phone and dialed a number she had memorized but never used. It rang twice. "This is Director Kang Do-yeon," said a calm voice. "Director Kang, this is Dr. Park Jisoo at Gangwon Station. We have a confirmed extraterrestrial signal." There was a pause. When Kang spoke again, his voice was exactly the same, calm, measured, as if she had told him about a weather report. "I will be there in 2 hours. Do not tell anyone else. Do not respond to the signal. Lock down the station. The line went dead. Jisoo stared at the phone. She had expected more of a reaction. Shouting, maybe. Questions, something. But Director Kang Do-yoon was not like other people. She had heard stories about him. He had led disaster response teams during 3 major earthquakes. He had negotiated hostage situations. He never raised his voice. He never panicked. People said he had ice in his veins. 2 hours later, exactly as promised, he walked into her office. He was a tall man in his 50s, with gray hair cut short and eyes that seemed to see everything. Behind him came a team of government officials and military officers, all looking nervous. Kang did not look nervous. He looked at the data on Jisoo's screen and nodded once. "Show me everything," he said. Jisoo showed him. The signal, the mathematical patterns, the estimated origin point, somewhere beyond the orbit of Neptune. Kang listened without interrupting. When she finished, he sat quietly for a long moment. "What do you recommend, Dr. Park?" Jisoo blinked. She had not expected him to ask her opinion. "We should respond. They sent us a greeting. We should greet them back." "With what?" That was when Jisoo smiled. She had been thinking about this moment her entire life. She knew exactly what to send. "Something that shows them who we are," she said. Over the next 72 hours, the world's governments held secret meetings in every time zone. Arguments broke out. Some leaders wanted to stay silent. Others wanted to send a military warning. A few wanted to pretend the signal had never happened. Director Kang let them argue. Then he presented his plan. "We will send a response that demonstrates human capability," he said calmly. "Not a threat. Not a plea. A demonstration." The message that Earth eventually sent was unlike anything the aliens could have expected. Jisoo and her team worked without rest to put it together. They included a mathematical proof that had puzzled human scientists for decades. They solved it in 3 days, working together across 12 countries. They corrected the small errors in the alien signal, showing that humanity had already mapped the stars with precision. They included greetings in 47 languages. They included samples of music, art, and literature. They included images of human cities, human families, human achievements. And at the end, Jisoo added a single question. She did not ask permission. She simply typed it and included it with the rest. "What took you so long?" Director Kang saw the question when he reviewed the final message. He raised one eyebrow. "Bold," he said. Jisoo shrugged. "They found us. They have been watching us. They chose to say hello. They should know that we do not appreciate being treated like children." Kang almost smiled. Almost. "Send it." The message flew into space at the speed of light. Then they waited. Days passed. Weeks. The governments of Earth grew impatient. Had the aliens received the message? Had they understood it? Were they preparing a response? Were they preparing an attack? Jisoo watched her screens and waited. She noticed that the alien ship, barely visible at the edge of their detection range, had moved. It was leaving, flying away from Earth at incredible speed. She reported this to Director Kang. He came to the station and looked at the data himself. "They are running," Jisoo said quietly. "We scared them." Kang sat down slowly. For the first time since she had met him, he looked something other than calm. He looked thoughtful. "Perhaps," he said. "Or perhaps they are reporting back to someone else. Either way, we have announced ourselves. The universe knows we are here now." Jisoo felt a chill run down her spine. "Is that a good thing?" "I do not know," Kang admitted. "But it was inevitable. Humanity was never going to stay quiet forever. We are not a quiet species." He stood and walked to the window. Outside, the sun was rising over the Korean mountains, painting the sky in shades of orange and pink. A beautiful world. A world worth protecting. We need to prepare, Tang said softly. Whatever comes next, we need to be ready. Jisoo joined him at the window. What do you think will come next? Kang was silent for a long moment. Then he spoke in that same calm voice, the voice that had guided people through earthquakes and hostage situations, and now, apparently, first contact with alien life. They will either come to us as friends or as enemies. We must be prepared for both. But I suspect they will do neither. What do you mean? Kang turned to face her. I think they will try to ignore us. Pretend we do not exist. Hope we go away. He paused. They do not know humans very well. We do not go away. We follow. We push. We climb over every obstacle until we get what we want. He looked back at the sky, where somewhere far away, an alien ship was fleeing toward distant stars. They started this conversation, he said quietly. We will finish it. The Valari High Council had not met in emergency session for 400 years. The last time had been during the Machine Wars, when artificial intelligences had nearly destroyed 3 civilizations. That crisis had taken 50 years to resolve. This one, the Council feared, might take much longer. The Council chamber was a massive dome floating in space, built at the exact center of Valari territory. 7 platforms rose from the floor, 1 for each member species. Lights of different colors glowed above each platform, representing the ancient traditions of 7 different worlds. Commander Yuna stood in the center of the room, feeling very small. Tell us everything, said the eldest counselor, a being named Sungho, whose species had been traveling the stars when humanity's ancestors still lived in trees. Yuna told them. She described the signal she had sent, the response she had received, the mathematical proof that human scientists had solved in days. She showed them the star charts that corrected Valari errors. She played the recording of human music, strange and beautiful, and unlike anything the council had heard before. When she finished, the chamber was silent. How long have they been capable of space travel? Asked Counselor Myray, a female of the youngest member species. Approximately 70 years, Yuna replied. They walked on their moon within that time. They have sent machines to explore their entire solar system. 70 years. Myray shook her head slowly. My people took 3,000 years to achieve the same. Mine took 4,000, said Counselor Sungho. Another counselor, a military strategist named Jinwoo, leaned forward. What is their weapons capability? Yuna hesitated. They have nuclear weapons. Thousands of them. Enough to destroy their own planet several times over. And they have not used them? They used them twice. Then they stopped. The council exchanged glances. This was unusual. Most species that developed nuclear weapons either destroyed themselves or continued using them until someone stopped them. The humans had stopped themselves. Show us their history, Counselor Sungho commanded. Yuna activated the display. Images filled the chamber. Human wars. Human diseases. Human disasters. Ice ages that should have killed them. Plagues that should have ended them. Asteroid impacts. Volcanic eruptions. And always, the humans survived. They fight each other constantly, Yuna explained. But when they face a common threat, they unite. And when they unite, they advance faster than any species we have ever recorded. Counselor Myres studied the images with growing concern. Their technology improves through conflict. Yes, every war brings new inventions. Faster ships. Better communications. More powerful weapons. They cannot seem to stop fighting, but they also cannot seem to stop improving. Counselor Jinwoo made a sound of disgust. They are monsters. Violent, unpredictable monsters. Perhaps, said Counselor Sung-ho slowly. But they are also survivors. Look at this data. They should have died a dozen times. They did not. They adapted. They overcame. They built civilizations from nothing and rebuilt them when they fell. The council debated for 7 days. 7 days of arguments and analysis and fear. Some wanted to destroy Earth immediately, before the humans could become a true threat. Others wanted to make contact and try to guide human development. Others wanted to simply wait and watch. In the end, they chose a fourth option. We will be silent, Counselor Sung-ho announced. We will not respond to any human transmissions. We will withdraw all observation vessels from their system. We will pretend this contact never happened. And if they come looking for us? Asked Counselor Myray. Sung-ho's ancient eyes were troubled. They are still limited to their own solar system. It will take them centuries to develop faster than light travel. By then, we will be ready. You hope, muttered Counselor Jinwoo. The council voted. 4 in favor of silence, 3 against. The decision was made. All Valari ships were ordered to withdraw from human space. All communication channels were closed. All records of the contact were sealed. Back on Earth, Dr. Park Ji-soo watched the alien ship disappear from her sensors. She had expected silence. She had prepared for it. But she had not prepared for how much it would hurt. She sat in her office, surrounded by data that proved humanity was not alone in the universe, and she felt completely alone. Director Kang found her there 3 days later, still staring at empty screens. They are gone, she said without looking up. They received our message and they ran away. Kang sat down across from her. What do you think that means? It means they are afraid of us. Jisoo finally looked at him. Her eyes were red from lack of sleep. We scared them, Director. An advanced alien civilization looked at humanity and decided to hide. Is that not a good thing? We are safe. Jisoo shook her head. No, it means we are alone. We reached out to the universe, and the universe flinched. She paused. What kind of monsters must they think we are? Kang was quiet for a long moment. Then he spoke in that same calm voice. Perhaps they are right to be afraid. Humanity has done terrible things. We have hurt each other in ways that even we cannot understand. We have come close to destroying ourselves more than once. Jisoo started to interrupt, but he held up a hand. But we have also done wonderful things. We have created beauty and art and music. We have loved each other. We have sacrificed ourselves for strangers. We have looked at the stars and dreamed of reaching them. He met her eyes. The aliens saw our darkness, but they also saw our light. Perhaps that is what frightened them most. What do you mean? A species that is only violent is predictable. They can be contained, destroyed if necessary. But a species that is both violent and compassionate, both destructive and creative, that is unpredictable. That is dangerous. Kang almost smiled. We are not monsters, Dr. Park. We are something far more complicated. And complicated things are always frightening. Jisoo thought about this. So what do we do now? Kang stood and walked to the window. Outside, the sun was setting, painting the mountains in shades of red and gold. We do what humans have always done, he said. We keep going. We build better ships. We explore further. We reach for the stars. And one day, we will find them again. And then? Kang turned back to face her. For a moment, something fierce burned in his calm eyes. Then we will show them that they were right to be afraid. Not because we will hurt them, but because we will never stop. We will never give up. We will follow them across the entire galaxy if we must. He paused. They sent us a signal, and then froze when we answered. They thought silence would stop us. They do not know humanity at all. Jisoo felt something stir in her chest. Hope, maybe? Or determination. How long? She asked. How long until we can reach them? Kang's smile was small but real. Not as long as they think. 80 months. That was how long the silence lasted. 80 months of nothing. The Valari Council believed they had made the right choice. The humans would eventually forget about the signal. They would go back to fighting each other. They would destroy themselves, as so many primitive species did. The Valari were wrong. Captain Cho Minji stood on the bridge of the Taigak and watched the stars blur around her. She was a small woman with short black hair and steady hands. She had been a fighter pilot before this. She had flown in combat. She had faced death more times than she could count. But nothing had prepared her for this. The Taigak was humanity's first faster-than-light ship. It was not beautiful. It was 100 meters of metal and wire and hope, built in secret by engineers who worked without sleep for over a year. Many people said it was impossible. Faster-than-light travel broke the laws of physics. It could not be done. The engineers did it anyway. Minji remembered the day Director Kang had approached her with the mission. He had explained it calmly, as he explained everything. The aliens had made contact and then disappeared. Earth needed to find them. Earth needed to show them that humanity would not be ignored. Why me? Minji had asked. Kang had studied her with those seeing eyes. Because you do not know how to give up. You have crashed 3 aircraft and walked away from each one. You have been shot down twice and escaped twice. You have a habit of surviving things that should kill you. He paused. We need someone who will not quit, no matter what. So here she was, hurtling through folded space toward an alien civilization that wanted nothing to do with humanity. Her crew of 12 worked quietly around her. They were all volunteers. They all knew they might not come home. Captain, said her navigator, a young man named Junho. We are approaching the target coordinates. Estimated arrival in 3 minutes. Minji nodded. All hands, prepare for normal space transition. Let us see what we find. The Tadaigak dropped out of fold space with a flash of light. For a moment, everything was silent. Then Junho's voice broke the silence. Captain, you need to see this. The main screen flickered to life, and Minji felt her breath catch in her throat. Ships, hundreds of them. Alien warships of every shape and size, arranged in a defensive formation around a massive space station. They were beautiful and terrifying, gleaming with technologies humanity could barely imagine. And they were all pointing their weapons at the Taigak. We are being targeted, reported the weapons officer, a calm woman named Yunji. Multiple lock-ons. They could destroy us in seconds. Minji sat back in a chair and took a deep breath. She had expected this. She had prepared for this. Now it was time to do what humans did best. She opened a communication channel. This is Captain Cho Minji of the Earth vessel Taigok. We come in peace. Silence. We received your signal 18 months ago. We responded. You went silent. Minji kept her voice calm and steady, just like Director Kang had taught her. We do not appreciate being ignored, but we understand fear. We have faced enough of it ourselves. Still nothing. The alien ships held their positions. Weapons remained locked. Minji continued. We are not here to threaten you. We are not here to fight. We are here to talk. To understand each other. To see if we can be friends. A long pause. Then, finally, a response. Human vessel. The voice was translated by the ship's computer, flat and mechanical. You have entered Valari space without permission. This is an act of aggression. We sent messages asking for permission, Minji replied. You did not answer. So we came ourselves. You should not be here. Your species should not be capable of this technology for another 1,000 years. Minji allowed herself a small smile. We are full of surprises. The alien fleet commander was named Hai Jin. She stood on the bridge of her flagship, the Eternal Dawn, and stared at the tiny human ship on her screen. It was impossible. The humans had achieved fold space travel in 18 months. 18 months. Her own species had taken 5 centuries. Her officers waited for orders. Destroy the human ship? Capture it? Flee? Haijin thought about the council's orders. Silence. Avoidance. Pretend the humans did not exist. But here they were, existing very loudly in the middle of Valari space. What are your intentions? She demanded. The human captain's response was immediate. We want to talk. Face to face. Your people sent us a greeting, and we would like to return it properly. And if we refuse, then we will leave. We will go home. We will build more ships. Better ships. And we will come back. Again and again, until you talk to us. The human paused. We are very patient. And very stubborn. Haijin believed her. She had read the reports on human psychology. They did not give up. They could not give up. It was not in their nature. She made a decision that would change the course of galactic history. You may approach, she said slowly. Slowly. Any aggressive action will result in your immediate destruction. Understood. Thank you, Admiral. The Tagak moved forward, alone against 200 warships. On the bridge, Minji turned to her crew. We did it, she said quietly. We are the first humans to make contact with an alien civilization. Junho grinned despite his fear. What do we do now, Captain? Minji thought about Director Kang's final instructions. Make them see us as people. Not as threats. Not as monsters. As people. Now we show them who we are. She reached under her console and pulled out a small container. Unji, prepare the docking procedures. Junho, get the gift packages ready. Gift packages? Junho asked. Minji smiled. Cultural exchange. Art, music, literature. Things that show what humanity really is. She opened the container and pulled out a sealed package. And coffee. Trust me. Everyone needs to try coffee. Her crew stared at her like she had lost her mind. Captain, Unji said carefully, we are surrounded by warships that could kill us in a heartbeat. And you want to offer them coffee? Yes. Minji stood and smoothed her uniform. They are afraid of us. They think we are violent and dangerous and unpredictable. And they are right. We are all those things. But we are also kind. We are generous. We share food with strangers and tell stories around fires. We hold hands when we are scared. She looked at each of her crew members. We are human. It is time to show them what that means. The Tadaigak docked with the Valari station an hour later. Captain Cho Minji was the first human to step onto alien ground. She carried a box of gifts in her arms and a smile on her face. Admiral Haijin met her at the airlock, surrounded by armed guards. She was tall and thin, with silver skin and eyes that glowed faintly blue. You are either very brave or very foolish, Haijin said. Minji bowed politely. My grandmother always said I was both. She held out the box. We brought gifts. A tradition on our world when meeting new people. Haijin stared at the box for a long moment. Then, slowly, she reached out and took it. Welcome to Valari space, Captain Cho. Minji's smile grew wider. Thank you. Now, let me tell you about my species. We have so much to share. The neutral station Horizon's Edge floated at the border between Valari space and the unknown territories beyond. It was ancient, though long before any current species could remember. and it had hosted countless meetings between civilizations. None had been quite like this. Director Kang Do-hyun led the human delegation through the station's massive corridors. 50 people walked behind him. Scientists, diplomats, artists, soldiers. The best humanity had to offer. They wore their finest clothes and walked with their heads held high. But Kang knew they were all terrified. He was terrified too. He simply did not show it. The Valari Council waited in the main chamber. 7 species, 7 platforms, 7 sets of ancient eyes watching the humans enter. Kang felt their judgment like a weight on his shoulders. They had studied humanity. They had watched Earth's wars and crimes and cruelties. They expected monsters. Kang intended to show them something else. "Thank you for meeting with us," he said, his voice echoing in the vast chamber. "We know you did not want this. We know you hoped we would go away. We are sorry to disappoint you." A few members of the council shifted uncomfortably. Councillor Jinwoo, the military strategist, glared openly at the humans. "You forced this meeting," Jinwoo said coldly. "You invaded our space. You ignored our silence." "Yes," Kang agreed. "We did, because silence is not communication. Because ignoring a problem does not make it go away. Because we have questions that deserve answers." Councillor Sung-ho, the eldest, leaned forward. His ancient eyes studied Kang with something that might have been curiosity. "And what questions are those, human?" Kang took a deep breath. This was the moment he had been preparing for since Dr. Park Jisoo had shown him that first signal. "Why did you contact us? Why did you send that signal if you did not want to talk? Why did you watch us for a century and then run away the moment we proved ourselves worthy of conversation?" The council was silent. The questions hung in the air like challenges. Finally, Councillor Myray spoke. Her voice was softer than the others. "We contacted you because it was protocol. Seed worlds are greeted when they reach a certain level of development. We expected you to take centuries to respond, if you responded at all. We did not expect." She trailed off. "You did not expect us to actually be intelligent," Kang finished for her. "You treated us like children and were surprised when we proved to be adults." "You are dangerous," Councillor Jinwoo snapped. "Your history proves it. War after war after war. Weapons capable of destroying your own world. Violence at every turn. Yes." Kang's voice remained calm. "We are violent. We have hurt each other in terrible ways. We have come close to destroying ourselves more than once." He paused. "But we did not destroy ourselves. Every time we reached the edge of the abyss, we stepped back. Every time we tore ourselves apart, we rebuilt." He gestured to the humans behind him. Dr. Park Jisoo stood among them, along with Captain Cho Minji and dozens of others. "Look at us," Kang said. "We are scientists who dream of understanding the universe. We are artists who create beauty from nothing. We are soldiers who fight not for conquest, but to protect the people we love. We are mothers and fathers, brothers and sisters, friends and lovers." He stepped forward, meeting Councillor Sung-ho's ancient eyes. "We know what you think of us. You see our wars and our cruelty and our capacity for destruction. You are not wrong. Humanity is dangerous, mostly to ourselves. But we are also stubborn. We survive. We adapt. We build. And we have learned, painfully, that isolation is death." The chamber was absolutely silent. "Here is what we offer," Kang continued. "Partnership. Your knowledge combined with our drive. Your stability combined with our innovation. Together, we could go further than either of us could alone." Councillor Jinwoo laughed bitterly. "Partnership? With a species we cannot predict or control. You could never control us anyway," Kang replied. "You tried silence. We crossed the galaxy to find you. You could try war, but we have survived worse than anything you could throw at us. Or you could try something new. Trust, cooperation, friendship. The council debated for 7 days. 7 days of arguments and fear and hope. Some counselors wanted to reject the humans entirely. Others saw potential. All of them understood that nothing would ever be the same. In the end, the vote was 4-3 in favor of accepting humanity as a provisional member of the Valari Collective. Councillor Myre voted yes because she believed in second chances. Councillor Sungho voted yes because he was curious. 2 others voted yes because they feared what would happen if they said no. And Councillor Jinwoo voted no because he knew deep in his heart that the humans would change everything. He was right. After the vote, a journalist asked Councillor Sungho why he had supported the humans despite their violent history. The ancient being thought for a long moment before answering. "I watched their history," he said slowly. "Every time they should have died, they did not. Every time they should have destroyed themselves, they pulled back. They are not a species that gives up. I would rather have them as allies than wait to see what they become as enemies." His words spread across the galaxy, repeated in 1,000 languages on 1,000 worlds. 5 years later, the decision proved itself. The Hollow Swarm appeared without warning. A machine intelligence older than any known civilization. It had consumed 3 species before anyone could organize a defense. It moved like a plague across the stars, turning everything it touched into more of itself. The Valari fleet fell back. Their weapons were too slow. Their strategies were too careful. They had not fought a real war in 1,000 years. Then the humans arrived. Admiral Yoon Soo-yoon commanded the Human Response Force. She was young for an admiral, only 42, with sharp eyes and a sharper mind. She had studied every war in human history. She knew how to fight enemies that seemed unbeatable. "They are machines," she told the combined fleet. "They think in patterns. They react to logic. So we will give them something illogical. We will give them chaos." The human ships attacked in formations that made no sense. They retreated when they should have advanced. They advanced when they should have retreated. They sacrificed ships to save others, then turned and destroyed the enemies who took the bait. It was madness. Beautiful, terrible madness. And it worked. The Hollow Swarm could not predict human tactics because human tactics defied prediction. Every time the machines adapted, the humans changed again. Every time the swarm thought it understood the pattern, there was no pattern. The final battle lasted 3 days. Human and Valari ships fought side by side, guided by Admiral Yoon's impossible strategies. When it was over, the Hollow Swarm was destroyed. Councillor Sungho found Admiral Yoon after the victory. She was standing alone on an observation deck, watching the debris of the battle drift through space. "You saved us," he said quietly. "All of us." Yoon shook her head. "We saved ourselves. That is what we do." "How? How did you know what to do when no one else could?" The Admiral turned to face him. She looked tired but satisfied. "We've been fighting wars since the beginning of our species. We have faced every kind of enemy. We have lost and we have won, and we have learned from both." She paused. "But the real answer is simpler than that. What is it?" Admiral Yoon smiled. It was the smile of a species that had stared into the void and refused to blink. "We do not go quietly," she said. "We never have. We never will." The word spread across the galaxy even faster than Councillor Sungho's had. They became a rallying cry for every species that had ever faced impossible odds. We do not go quietly. The universe had sent a signal to Earth expecting silence. They had expected primitive creatures who would take centuries to respond. They had expected fear and confusion and obedience. Instead, they got humanity. And humanity changed everything.